Welcome back, Rotary family. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving full of friendship, family, and good times. So nice to see you. Welcome to our 5,416th meeting of this fantastic Rotary Club. And now Nicholas Adams is coming on up to lead us in song. Did I go too fast? There you go.
Wow, is that applause? Thank you. I'm not used to that. Would you please all stand and join me in God Bless America? Join me. Don't listen to me. I want to see all your mouths moving too. You know these words. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. So strong. Very good. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Like usual, I mouth the words right behind you. Okay, guys, if you could quiet down, please. Don't make me do it again. All right, guys, thank you so much. And Mark McKenna, thank you for chairing refugee support and for leading the greeting line today. Wonderful to see you all. And today we are celebrating Nora Manchester's birthday on this very day. So like always, please take a moment to wish her a happy birthday. And to those who will be celebrating from November 25th to December 1st, send them some positive wishes as well, please. And now we're going to move into guest introductions, and our Red Badgers with traveling mics will be Johnny Camus and Nicole Leckler. It's her third time, so we're happy to have you back, Nicole. And a reminder before they do self-introductions, we will be doing introductions in a clockwise fashion to make it easier for our Zoomers. So Johnny, why don't you start with a brief introduction?
Johnny Camus, former San Jose City Council member, and my sponsor is Catherine Tompkinson.
We love Catherine. Yay. Nicole.
Nicole Leckler. I'm the Director of Membership at the Silicon Valley Capital Club, and my sponsor is Ron Drake.
Wonderful, and thanks again for getting up at 6 a.m. to make that coffee for Veterans Day. All right, if you have a guest or you're a visiting Rotarian, please stand. Johnny, okay, and over here too, we have Deanna next. Leslie.
Hi, Leslie Guardino. I'm a Red Badger still. My sponsor is Rod Deardon Sr. And my guest today is Allie Hughes, my colleague at Canyon Snow Consulting.
Wonderful. Welcome. He's coming, Deanna. Yes.
Hi, President Karen. My name is Deanna Bursai, College of Adaptive Arts, and I have my sister here, Angel Ellenberger, who she will say is my twin. We're Irish twins.
We're so glad to see you, Angel. Welcome back.
Hi, President Karen. Chris DeSalvo, Public Relations. I'm pleased to have my husband as my guest, Joseph DeSalvo, who's board member of Santa Clara County Office of Education.
Nice to see you again, Joe. Nicole's making her way up. Matt.
Good afternoon, President Karen. Matt Bell, CEO of Pivotal. I am happy to have once again my daughter Grace Bell with me. She's currently a bagger at Whole Foods and #1 President Karen fangirl.
Woohoo! We love having you, Gracie. So glad you're here. Past President Karen.
Hi, President Karen. I'm retired, sort of. I'm proud to introduce the best district attorney this county has ever had, Jeff Rosen.
Oh, wonderful. And Mr. Rosen, thank you again for presenting to our club on February 8th. Your comments were so provocative and well received. And also, I had the pleasure of seeing you present at the village's temple ceremony for Jewish services. My in-laws love you, so thanks again for that.
President Karen, Clarence Stone, I'd like to introduce the best Chief Assistant District Attorney, this county has ever had. My dear friend Jay Boyarsky, please give a warm welcome to him. And by the way, Jay is also a candidate for judge in Santa Clara County.
Ooh. That's $100, Clarence.
I'll take the fine, thank you.
All right. December 6th.
I'll tell you what, let's make it 200.
Woohoo! Mark that down. I'm going to ring my bell twice. Thank you for that.
My name is Martha Wapensky with the County of Santa Clara. I want to introduce my beloved colleague and the Chief Operating Officer for the county, Greta Hansen, with us today.
Larry.
President Karen, I have 3 guests today, Angelo Prosciutto and Prosciutti.
Close.
Prosciutto, I get close. And Sarah Martin. And my 3rd guest is former county supervisor and longtime political activist in the Santa Clara County, Liz Niss. She's a Rotarian in Palo Alto. She's also president of the Palo Alto Rotary Club.
Ooh, all right. A fellow president. Nice to have you. Okay, Matt, start waking your way up here for some membership updates, please. Time to hear about one of the most important efforts of our committee. Matt Bell.
Good afternoon once again. Happy to share the monthly update. I want to make sure, can everyone hear me okay? Just to review, our goal for the year is typically 40 new members. This year we have a stretch goal of 55. As you can see, you know, we got our work cut out for us here, folks. Most of, as you know, and you hear me talking every month about this, we really rely on you all for our recruiting efforts. And so far we have 12 new members to date, 3 new members this past month, sitting with me at my table, Chelsea Souza, Terry Tran, and Hekmat Esas. So thank you to those sponsors. You know, just as some reminders about kind of when you're thinking about recruiting, and especially as we're going into the holiday season here, you're going to be seeing a lot of friends and family. Great time to talk about Rotary, offer the gift of Rotary by introducing someone to the club. I went too far there, sorry. There we go. So, you know, talk about Rotary when you see people this year. If you can think of somebody who should be in Rotary, who's not. There's actually some guests today that I think should be in Rotary, but we can talk about that after the meeting. What about prospective legacy members, children, grandchildren, et cetera, of current or former members, great potential prospects? We've got a lot of great resources on the website. The other thing is, if you have not yet renewed your fees for the coming year, please do so. If you're questioning whether or not you know, we may be getting a call from one of our committee members to encourage you to renew. And if you're having trouble in any way, reach out to the office. It's something that maybe we can work on. Finally, I know I'm running over. I just wanted to, sorry, where am I doing here? You got it. Thank you to everybody who's been recruiting thus far. Here are the people who have recruited members to date so far. Please try to add your name to this list. Thank you very much.
So basically, based on that data, we're at 30% of our goal, not our stretch goal, but 30% of the typical goal, and we're 5 months into the period of performance. So please, please, please don't hesitate to say, why aren't you in Rotary? Come on up, Sal. Talk to us about what's happening around town.
Thank you, Karen. And as I was telling her before the meeting, I love her time management to the point that she's got us so scared. We're lining up. We're lining up to get up here. Yes. It's working. Okay, so wow, here we are. Happy birthday to Nora Manchester. Happy birthday to the city of San Jose. 246 years young today. So that's a nice thing. Wow. Yep. And we've got a lot going on. November has flown by. We're into the holiday season officially. Something I don't have a slide for, but I'll tell you is that there's a bunch of really great and fun plays going on right now downtown. You've got the Play That Goes Wrong at San Jose Stage, which is hilarious. You've got the Games Afoot or Homes for the Holidays at City Lights, which I just saw Saturday night. Very fun too. And then you've got Sondheim on Sondheim starting at 3 Below. So you've got your stage ability set up there. Now let's say you're looking for a little holiday cheer. What do we have here for you? We've got our fun holiday-themed bar pop-ups that are going on. You've got Miracle on First Street in Paper Plane. You've got Miracle on Mini Boss down at the corner where Tunes used to be on 2nd and Santa Clara. And then Sippin' Santa is a tiki version at 55 South. These are really fun. They're decorated to the hilt. My suggestion is if you don't want a big crowd, go when they open around 5 o'clock. You can enjoy one of their drinks like the Snowball Old Fashioned or the Yippee-Ki-Yay, I can't say the rest. And just enjoy the atmosphere. You'll have a great time. We've also got another fun expanded event coming up in December, Christmas at the California. For those of you who remember Carols at the California, the symphonies decided to go a little bit bigger. There's more involved with new ballet and youth singers besides the chorale. They're going to, of course, do all the sing-alongs that we're used to. I'm losing sound here, yeah. But it is a really fun event, and they've expanded it to 2 days. It's December 9th and 10th, so you've got a Saturday night and a Sunday matinee, a lot of fun. And if you like gingerbread, there is a gingerbread house decorating with History San Jose at San Pedro Square Market on December 15th. This is a adults-only event. It's going to be a little boozy. It's going to be a little fun. There's going to be frosting that goes off the side a little bit, I'm guessing. But these are a lot of fun to do. And, of course, we've also got, after you need to work off all that gingerbread, we have the Santa Run coming up, the 12th annual Santa Run. This has usually in the past been held in the afternoon. But they're doing it in the morning this time, so those of you who are morning runners may want to participate. And it's just fun to see everyone dressed up as Santas and elves. And I know in many years, our own Larry Stone was the Grinch as in the pace car there. Now we're happy. We got to boo you. But that's what's going on around town for the next few weeks, and I'll be back in the new year to tell you what's up then. Thanks.
Sippin' Santa has a nice ring to it, and I think I need to visit some of those hot spots. Let's hear about Youth Exchange. Past President Carl Salas and David Cohen, come on up. Thank you.
Where's the clicker?
The clicker's to the right.
Oh. Hey, so the irony of this is I hate short deadlines, but I've got a short deadline for you. And this is for anybody who knows or has a sophomore, junior, or senior in high school right now. What happened is Youth Exchange from the district called us about 2 weeks ago and said, after 5 years, we're restarting the Youth Exchange program this year. But there's a deadline. You've got to have your application in by December 9th, and they're going to make the decision by December 7th. I don't know how many of you know about this.
January 7th.
January 7th, excuse me. Yeah, there you go. Here we go. So this is like an incredible life-changing experience in that we send one student out, sophomore, junior, or senior. Senior would have a gap year. They actually study, they live with a Rotarian family or a Rotarian selected family for 2 semesters, for a whole high school year, and then they come back. And in the meantime, we get an inbound that comes in and takes that place. So it's really something. It's quite an incredible experience. And you have to mail an email a request. There's a flyer on your desk. If you know a high school sophomore, junior, or senior who really has a lot of guts, but for a huge return, make sure you tell them about this, or her. It's just fantastic. And online applications by December 9th. There's an email to send to request the application link. And last thing, so you have to be between the age of 15 and a half and 18 and a half when you leave for Europe, South America, or Asia in August of 2024. So I want to turn you over to David because he was a youth exchange student.
All right, thank you. Yes, I was a youth exchange student. I did a gap year between high school and college. It was probably one of the most difficult years of my life, but also one of the most rewarding. So this year, because we have such a short deadline, it's probably a good year if you know someone who wants to apply because there's probably not going to be a lot of competition. Having said that, we've done an email out to 20 high schools here in San Jose. We emailed counselors, language teachers, and principals. 220 people have gotten the information. We've gotten about 10 responses that the information is now out on the school information sites. And we actually found one of our principals at James Lick High School, Honey Gubuan, was a Rotary Exchange student herself. So we would appreciate your help recruiting some students for this fabulous opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would love to think that someday my heart will be big enough to encourage my little Charlie to go and participate in something like this. But I don't know if I'd be emotionally capable, so I'm going to be working on that over the next 5 years. Come on up, Shishir. Let's hear about the grant recipients. This is a very exciting part of the program.
Thank you.
And to the right with the key.
I'm the VP of Grants for the Rotary Club. The primary purpose of the Rotary Club of San Jose Foundation community grants is to assist nonprofit organizations serving the citizens of San Jose with grants up to $10,000 for specific, tangible, and identifiable projects. Some of the examples are that we have funded are commercial refrigerators, ovens, computers, and space improvements, such as upgrades of lighting for energy savings, as well as for putting in toilets or replacing them for public use. The contribution committee receives, reviews, and evaluates all the applications that we receive from public benefit, nonprofit 501c organizations for community grants. I'd like to recognize the committee members, so please stand and be recognized for your outstanding work. Bonnie Bamberg, Sarah Jenigan, Terry Chapman, Ginger Sotelo, Steve Prouty, Sean O'Kane, Chris Duke, Sandra Gill, and Stephanie Belinsky-Ware, and as well as Leslie Hamilton. She's the one. Leslie receives all the grant applications, sorts them out, and puts them all together. Next slide, yeah, okay, you got it. I'm pleased to announce that this year, the San Jose Rotary Club was able to fund 25 organizations for a total of $200,000.
Woo! Yeah.
They are listed over here. Thank you, Rotarians, for your support and participation in our annual campaign indicated by the green dot on your badges. If you have not participated, please check your table and sign up for this green sticker. Thank you.
Thank you. That's just outstanding, and that's part of the really meaningful community work that we do. So, fellow Rotarians, don't be shy about adding a little pressure to those who don't have their green stickers yet, Steve Ellenberg. We're looking for you to make your contribution so we can continue to do this good work. Heather Lerner, are you already up here? Come on up.
We are rule followers, Karen. We might all go over our time, but we lined up in advance. I am so pleased to be your gala chair once again. What you just saw, all those organizations, and I hadn't seen them yet. I love the big reveal, and you're going to get a big reveal in just a moment here. I love a big reveal of seeing all those community partners that we're supporting. If you came to the gala last year, if you were a sponsor of the gala last year, pat yourself on the back because you're part of all those success there. That Rotary Club in San Jose has big impact locally. We had a very fun night at Bert George's place a few weeks ago where we were able to thank all the previous sponsors of last year's gala and do a theme reveal. So thank you. I just want to give a round of applause for last year's sponsors. All righty. So those who sponsor get that additional thank you of a bunch of wine and fellowship and get it to the theme reveal. So this year's theme, I'll just talk just a little bit and then I'm just going to hit play. I try to follow whatever the lead of the president is. Karen's year is We Are Family. She's transportation. What do? Throw kids in the freeway? I mean, I don't know, kids, tramspo. Who came up with something? But I'm going to just hit play and, or actually, can you guys hit play for me? And this is this year's theme reveal.
I can't wait.
Anyway, I will be seeing most of you at the gala tomorrow night.
It's an annual thing. We go every year with the Rotary Club.
Though the city's traffic has quadrupled in recent years, San Jose's broad streets and boulevards have proved more than adequate.
Are going on a run.
In order to retain the confidence of the community, it is necessary that service be the cornerstone of private enterprise. The success of many a gala party has been born here.
This is going to be the best party we have ever had.
All right, and I want to give a huge, huge thank you because we have already secured our presenting sponsor, Sharad Gupta, with Your Home So Guaranteed. Thank you so much for re-upping your presenting sponsorship. A few other early adopters, PG&E, stepped up and stepped bigger. They are increasing their sponsorship, and Dick and Sandy Conniff have already committed. I know you're going to want to commit soon. I know you're going to want to buy a ticket, but you can't yet, not until January. But if you want to sponsor, come see me. Thanks for the mic time.
Thank you, that was perfect. And I understand that Jay Alexander, your partner, put together that stunning video. Thank you, Jay. I know you're here. I don't see you, but you're awesome. Yay, okay. So President's Time, I've got one reminder, one opportunity, and 3 family updates. The reminder is for the holiday luncheon on December 13th. Tickets are $100 and need to be purchased in advance. There are only 11 remaining. So please visit the Culinary and Hospitality Committee table out here for your ticket today. And Matt, any chance you could bring Gracie? Could she skip school and come and celebrate with festivities with us? Well, think about it, think about it. All right, and a Rotary opportunity, and this is led by Steve Preminger and Brenda Sweeney, who are both right here. Our Rotary Club was contacted about an innovative opportunity, which is called Ambassadors of Compassion. And I have to read this because it's so incredible. Basically, the goal of this is to develop a generation of emotionally resilient, self-sufficient, and compassionate students who can overcome their negative experience and take responsibility for their actions, learning how to enrich their communities, the nation, and beyond. It's a 10-week program. The goal is to have 1 million students by 2025. It's a Rotary-led initiative. And as I mentioned, Steve and Brenda very enthusiastically raised their hand and said, we will lead this ad hoc committee. I think it's just wonderful. It's very in line with our mental health focus on the Rotary International level and with the focus on family here at our home club as well. So please be sure to reach out to either Brenda or Steve with your interest. I look forward to hearing the success of that program. Thanks again for leading that effort. So Marie you may have seen that in the announcement on Monday, she has developed a virtual page through Caring Bridge page so that you can follow her treatment and her progress. She put an update up early this morning. She has finished her second round of chemo, but she is incredibly grateful for the continued love and support that we're expressing. So please reach out to Marie with a kind word. Sign up to follow her progress. It's the best way to get the most up-to-date information. And Marie, if you are Zooming in, we love you, we miss you, we're here for you, and we look forward to your successful return. Rotarian Ken Wiener is unfortunately been in the hospital and he is not doing well. While he is not accepting visitors, he would be very grateful for cards. Tom Bondi has personally went to visit him and said this would be very well received. In the lobby, Leslie has cards for both Marie and for Ken. Please take a moment to add your best wishes to those cards so we can bring them some of our Rotary joy and love. And then finally, in loving memory of Rotarian John Campisi, he passed away on November 12th, surrounded by family and friends. He was a Rotarian for 40 years, and for 30 of those years had perfect attendance. His services will actually be today at 2 p.m. at the Mission at Santa Clara, if you'd like to pay your respects. Now, please join me in a brief moment of silence as we think about John and his incredible impact on our lives and our club. Okay, thank you. All right, Steve, come on up. Let's introduce our speaker. Thank you, everybody.
Today's speaker is Santa Clara County Executive James Williams. James has been the county executive since July. He is responsible for oversight of all administrative affairs of the county, including overseeing implementation of Board of Supervisors directed policies and programs of what is the largest county in Northern California with an annual budget of $11.5 billion and an employee workforce of 23,000. Previously, James served for 7 years as the county counsel, where he led the office with a staff of 250 and served as chief legal advisor to the Board of Supervisors. In this role, James led the county in critical litigation to protect the public interest from unlawful federal actions by the Trump administration on a range of issues. Major impact litigation against the manufacturers of lead paint and opioids, legal work to ensure the county's successful acquisition of O'Connor and St. Louis hospitals out of bankruptcy, and the county's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. James began his career with the county in 2010 in the county counsel's office, where he delivered the successful oral argument before the California Supreme Court on what would become one of the most consequential taxation cases in California history, resulting in the dissolution of the state's more than 400 redevelopment agencies and the return of billions of dollars each year across the state to K-12 schools and safety net services. James received his JD from Stanford Law School. He graduated summa cum laude from Princeton University with an AB in Public and International Affairs. He was raised in Portland, Oregon, and he's expecting somebody to ask when he's going to join Rotary. County Executive James Williams.
Good afternoon. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. And it's especially lovely to have so many folks from the county family and extended family here. Real treat to have former Supervisor Liz Niss. Got to add my booze to Assessor Larry Stone. Our incredibly principled, justice-oriented District Attorney, Jeff Rosen. Wonderful Chief Operating Officer Greta Hansen, Deputy County Executive Martha Wapinski, and so many others. And thank you, Steve, for those remarks introducing me. I'm super excited to be with all of you to talk a little bit about what's going on at the county, because what we do is so important to the fabric of our community here. And I know that what you all do, being such civic-minded and focused folks, is work that's really a part in some way or the other, extended, maybe greatly extended in some cases, but in others very closely intertwined with the work that we do at the county. And I wanted to start by, reflecting a little bit. This time of year, my favorite holiday is actually Thanksgiving. And it's my favorite holiday for a lot of reasons. I mean, one is, I have four young kids, and it's a holiday where we get to just load up in the van and go to my in-laws and just roll out of the van and eat, which is a nice treat, and we get to relax, so that's a great thing. But it's also my favorite holiday because it's an opportunity to really reflect on what has been happening, to be grateful, and recognize some of the incredible work and things that I've gotten to partake in partnership with many other people. And so I do that every Thanksgiving, and so last week I was taking time to do that myself and with my family, and thinking about just how much I have to be grateful for being able to work in an organization and work in a role where I get to work with such extraordinary public servants, and we have absolutely incredible, maybe Steve mentioned the number, 23,000 employees, but we have some absolutely extraordinarily talented public servants who work on some of the most critical issues facing our society and community. And do so with such a deep commitment to this place and this space and this community, and to work under the leadership and policy direction of an incredible board of supervisors, both past and present, that is really committed to us being a leader wherever we can be in tackling extraordinary challenges. And I'm grateful for that because even though it's challenging and difficult, and I'm going to talk a bit about some of the challenges that we face as a county, it presents a lot of wonderful opportunities and just extraordinary gratitude for that privilege to be able to work in partnership with others. There's a quote I love that from Harry Truman says, "It's amazing what you accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit." I mean, I think the essence of that quote is really about how working together in partnership is really how we get things done, and working together as a team is how we accomplish what we can. So at the county, counties are an interesting layer of government. I know many of you know a lot about counties, but I know some don't. So I'm going to just take 2 minutes to describe kind of how I think about the role of counties in our society. Counties occupy this interesting space, right? We're a local government, we provide all these core services, but we are really the delivery mechanism for all these absolutely critical state functions. And if you think about it, they really fall into kind of two areas, both of which are just fundamentally essential to how we operate as a society. One is safety net services, whether it's the social services system, criminal justice system, our amazing health and hospital system, and we're unique, right, in Santa Clara County in having such a robust health and hospital system. And the other is kind of the core, what I call infrastructure, but I don't just mean physical infrastructure. Obviously, we have the expressways and parks and things like that, but the core infrastructure that makes our society kind of work, and part of that's, yes, the property tax system, but also birth and death certificates and recording of title for property and our elections infrastructure and all these other things that just make us able to function as a society. And in doing so, we occupy this unique space of really being the local implementation of all of these critical state functions that, by the way, in other parts of the country are actually directly run by the state in many places, but here in California are done by counties. And so when you reflect on that, you realize, obviously, for one, the importance, right, of the work, but second, just how we're then defined by this community and the space that we're in. Literally, Santa Clara County, right, is defined by the geography that we occupy, and the incredible richness of the diversity and the strength of the folks that we serve together in partnership. And the county then, therefore, has some extraordinary responsibilities. I feel that that brings some real wonderful opportunities with it, but some real challenges. So what does that look like stepping into the county executive role at this moment in time? And I've been with the county now 13 years, and we've seen a lot of different things happen. Steve mentioned a few of the things I've gotten to work on, some really incredible, extraordinary things like our, what turns out in retrospect to be prescient acquisition of hospitals out of bankruptcy, and a year later, almost to the day, facing the extraordinary crisis with the pandemic. Everyone, of course, knows about the role of the county's public health in the pandemic response. Some truly, truly extraordinary things that we've had the opportunity to work together to tackle. But stepping into the county executive role right now, there's of course a lot to do because this is work that is always ongoing. It's always continuous. And one of the big challenges we're facing today, right now, is a very different fiscal environment at the same time as we are called upon to really expand some of our most important critical safety net services. So some of you may know, but many of you may not, the county's right now facing a pretty significant turn in our fiscal situation. We're staring down about a 10% deficit in our general fund. That's a big, significant pivot for us. And that's a tough thing for our organization for many, many reasons, but especially when you think about the kinds of services that we're talking about. And that calls upon us to have to think and examine some things and tackle this challenge in a unique way. At the same time that we have that, we are called upon to expand resources in, for example, our behavioral health system of care. We have new, very significant state mandates that have come our way, but also, and perhaps even more importantly than that, some really urgent and important significant community needs that we need to work to meet in that space. But coming without, not only without new funding streams to back that work up, but actually potential diversion of some critical funding away and placing that elsewhere. Now, when I think about that, I think I could think on the one hand, well, my luck to kind of step into this role right when we've got this big, shift happening in our county's fiscal environment. My predecessor got to have many, many years of significant growth and expansion. But we also can think about it from some different perspectives, and I choose to think about it as the fact that we have some opportunities. We have some unique opportunities as a county and as a community. One is we have an opportunity to really think about how we partner together. How we partner together, one, internally within our organization. We're a very multifaceted, complex, large conglomerate is one way to maybe think about it, right? And if you think about every different thing we do, there's really nothing that you could think about that the county doesn't in some way or the other itself do. And how we work together across systems that have people with different roles and responsibilities and funding streams and mandates and obligations and authority to create a continuum and a system that can work together efficiently and effectively. We have opportunities to identify, maybe there was some great program or a service or thing that made a lot of wonderful sense 15 years ago that we need to think about and look at differently now. We also have opportunities to partner outside of the organization with others to think about how we better deliver services, identify gaps, fill those gaps, and work to continue to build on something that I have a very deep personal commitment to, which is real excellence in public service. And to me, excellence isn't just about a destination, it's a journey, because it's always an ongoing process of continually striving for, helping to make our community and our society a better place, and continuously being responsive to the ever-changing needs that we're seeing out there, especially in an organization that at its core is committed to serving the most vulnerable in our society. And that really is at the core of the county's mission. So I think we have some opportunities amidst these challenges, some real opportunities of partnership across local governments, with the state and internally. And we have some real opportunities to tackle some of the things that just don't necessarily make the news, but are really instrumental in how we build a system that supports excellence in public service. And I'll give you an example. This is going to be a funny example, I think, to all of you, but bear with me for a moment and I'll connect it. So one of the things that we're working on is looking at, for example, our merit system. So you're going to pause and think, oh, why are you talking about that? Well, you all probably know that, the origins of a merit system, that, back in the day, right, presidents were picking people who work in post offices and elsewhere because of political patronage. That's one origin. Another origin of merit system was to ensure that we have civil servants who are really selected and working as employees based on competencies and skills. And boy, do we know that's so pivotal if you look around the country at some of the challenges going on with how election systems are operated, right? Hugely pivotal right now. And the way that a merit system was built to create equal access and opportunity for employment, where the public sector was actually a place where people who otherwise didn't have opportunities to come into professional positions and elsewhere found avenues and vehicles to come. Those principles are all very sound, important principles today. And yet, we have rules and ordinances and other things that say things like you got to send something in the mail and wait X number of days before you can process. And we know that doesn't reflect how we hire and support and recruit and retain the best and the brightest public servants. Although we have many at the county, they almost, in some cases, have gotten there despite some of these things. That's the kind of work that for people like me, where we sit in the organization, working on those kinds of challenges alongside the extraordinary professionals who bring subject matter expertise to behavioral health or running hospitals or running election systems or ensuring our expressways function well, come together to make there be excellence in public service, and where we then can deliver on implementing the vision and leadership and policy direction of the Board of Supervisors, the elected officials who get to then help shape and guide the policy direction that we go in. And so that's where I see a really key pivotal role as the incoming county executive, making these things work better for people both inside the organization, but most importantly, in how that translates to the service delivery that we provide in the community. The impact that that then has on our ability to provide robust systems of care for those who are most vulnerable, but how that then makes our entire community stronger. And we are so fortunate, by the way, to be in this particular county. I think about that all the time, to have so many people who are so committed to the work in this community, so eager to engage in partnerships, and to be in a place that has a legacy of building on a commitment to service that's resulted in things like Valley Medical Center and that incredible system of care that we have that provides access to absolutely first-class medical care to everybody in our community. And those are all things that make me extraordinarily grateful and thankful to be able to serve in this role, to serve this community, to work in partnership with incredibly talented people across the organization, and make me excited to be able to work with directly or indirectly through the county's much extended family with all of you as well. I do want to make sure I leave some time for questions and things, but I'm 1 minute, great. But very excited to be here, and thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, James. And if you were to join Rotary, you would be our second James Williams. So come on.
I heard apparently there's a...
There you go. You got it?
I heard apparently there's a mail going there instead of to me, but...
All right. Fernando, would you like to start? Or start with Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Williams. With your experience, and in the news, we've read about these infants that have died as a result of fentanyl poisoning. And there was some mention in the news that the attorneys for the county overruled the recommendations of the social workers when it came to the safety plans for such vulnerable infants. And I wondered if you have any comment regarding to whether or not it's more important to keep the family together or to follow the recommendations of the social workers.
Well, I'm not going to comment on the specifics around the baby Phoenix tragedy, but I will say this, a couple really important things. First, the safety of children in our community is first and foremost, and that tragedy, along with several others in our community, is something that calls us to have a very thoughtful response. And there will be a public conversation at the board coming up in a handful of weeks related to that. But what we do as a county organization to take care of and keep children safe is absolutely pivotal. And how we look at some of the newer community challenges, such as those posed by fentanyl, is really pivotal as well. So there's a lot that we're looking at. There's a lot more conversation that will be had. But there's no question that extraordinary tragedy, and there's many, many, many people in the county organization just deeply affected by that.
It's a tragedy. We'll go here, and then we'll come to you, Johnny.
Thank you very much for coming. For years, I've been advocating that your predecessor come and speak to our Rotary Club, but it hasn't worked out, so very happy that you come, and please come in the future and keep us posted on what's going on in the county.
Thank you.
And I'm a resident of unincorporated county, so you're my local government. I have a suggestion for closing the fiscal gap, and that is that if the tens of thousands of vehicles the county runs every day, all day, if you could encourage the drivers to turn off the engines when instead of idling. Up in the hills where I live, we have trucks up there idling all day long, spewing out pollution, and also using up a lot of fuel. So my suggestion is that you look into ways to curb the use of unnecessary use of fuels in the vehicles. One other question. Does the county have any plans for metering or regulating water wells, private wells in the county? Because that's would be a way to approach water conservation.
Well, I love your suggestion about idling, so definitely take that back, and that's I'm very much in line with a lot of our sustainability goals as a county organization. In terms of water, I know there's a lot of new regulation, especially with some landmark state efforts associated with groundwater, and I know that we're in the process of implementing a lot of that in the unincorporated areas of the county.
And to your point about idling, I got to go with some data, guys. Transportation is the greatest contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, period, and globally. So, good point.
Thank you for being here. I had a question in regards to SB 37, which is the Mental Health Act to help people who are mentally ill and homeless get off of our streets and get some help. Are you guys at the county planning on implementing that and potentially using underutilized medical facilities like the DePaul Center or something like that to help people, get the help that they need?
Well, thanks for the question. So SB 43 is a bill that changes the definition of grave disability and has significant impacts on the conservatorship system. We're actually going to be talking about that at the board meeting next week, so I encourage folks who are interested to take a look at that. We have a comprehensive report. We talked a lot about it at the board's Health and Hospital Committee last month, and so that's all public material that people can look at. But the short answer is we're definitely going to be moving forward with implementing those changes in state law. It is an unfunded mandate, and it's going to take the right resources, time to put together the training, the right facilities, and the right staffing to make sure it's done in a way that's actually successful and works. But that's exactly what we'll be doing.
Very good, thank you. Other questions for our guest speaker, Heather Lerner? A microphone is coming your way. Honestly, what can't she do? She's the chair of
So
the
many
Gala Committee,
microphones.
president-elect.
Yeah.
You go, Heather.
Hi there. I want to talk about something that's going well and could be even better. During the pandemic, the county parks were just an amazing salve. I'm sure you have data to back that up, to the big demand. The thing that's always puzzled me is that Alum Rock Park is this huge park and it's under the city. And is there ever any talk of the county taking over Alum Rock Park?
I'm not aware of any, but we do
Could you start?
But we could talk to the city, but we do have an extraordinary park system. And, it is a absolutely gorgeous, beautiful system, and I know that many in the community are very proud of it.
Carl Solis, and then we'll come up here. Behind you, Carl.
Thank you. Hey, I just wanted to ask you, I did the math, and there's 20,000 plus employees. You have a 10% deficit. Are you actually having to contemplate laying off 22,000 plus employees this year?
Well,
That's an easy one. Go ahead.
we have asked departments to start working on proposals. It's going to be a several months long process, but it's going to be very challenging. It's going to be very, very challenging, and I think that for many departments, how to make that work. I mean, obviously, folks are looking at any revenue opportunities. Folks are going to be looking at vacant positions and things like that. But it's going to be a very challenging budget to address.
Yes, and a few years ago, Jim Salata and a number of us had been involved in an effort to try to convert the old administrative building into housing for the homeless. And we never got I don't feel like we ever got a satisfactory answer to why that didn't move forward. I'm wondering if you have any knowledge of that whole process.
Yeah, I didn't work so directly on that, but I think you're talking about the old City Hall Annex building, if I recall. And I think my understanding was that the facility assessment was that in order to meet the minimum code standards, that it was just not cost effective. But I didn't directly work on that.
Okay.
And that building's been taken down years ago.
Alex, you have a question?
Johnny's the microphone expert today, so I'm deferring to him. Hey, James, how do you think the relationship between the city and county has been changing recently, and any thoughts or vision on how to continue to improve it?
Sure. The relationship between the city of San Jose and the county is always, of course, complex. But there's also our other 14 cities, too. And one of the interesting dynamics in our county is you have one very large city and a number of much, much smaller cities. We work in partnership on a lot of very important issues. One great example is coordination around emergency planning and response. And we have an operational area council, and we have a lot of interchange of funding and a lot of joint training and coordination. There are, of course, many, many other initiatives and projects that are done jointly between the city and the county. And then there's many areas where we have different roles and responsibilities and functions. But from a staff level and perspective, we're always trying to identify opportunities to collaborate. We obviously serve the same residents. And those residents care about, at the end of the day, the quality of services that they get much more than who exactly they're getting it from.
I love the idea of smart subtraction. Is there a process for county employees to weigh in on how the county can save money?
There, absolutely. Departments have been asked to work with employees. I've raised these conversations directly in my meetings, for example, with our labor partners, and I meet with several of them regularly. And, you know, the best ideas, I think, around a lot of these things absolutely come from the folks who are directly implementing and running and operating our programs.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. John, do you have a question, or are you just standing? Okay. Yes, ma'am. There's a microphone coming this way. Run, Johnny, run.
Thank you so much for being here. It's illuminating as well as everything else. But would you talk a little about how huge this county is? We have 58 counties. Every county has 5 supervisors. But this is a big county. And every time we leave our house and drive toward Carmel or something, my husband always says, is it still Santa Clara County? It is.
It is. You know, you're absolutely right. So 58 counties in the state. We're the largest in Northern California. We have the second largest public health system with 3 hospitals and 12 clinics in the state after LA County, one of the largest in the nation. And we're an incredibly diverse county, and I don't just mean that obviously in terms of the diversity of our residents, but even our geography. I mean, one of the things we focus, of course, on the valley floor where almost everyone lives, but, you know, we have the largest area, if you go up and over the hills, we have the largest area in California that's not in a fire protection district of, you know, several 100,000 acres that only has a few thousand folks out there. But that's all unincorporated Santa Clara County as well. So incredible richness of diversity from every type of perspective. It's something that we get to work with and serve in the county. And it's one of the reasons I love the county organization.
Please join me in thanking James Williams for today's program.
Thank you all so much for inviting me.
Thank you. We've made a contribution to Loaves and Fishes in honor of your time today. Thank you very much. And good luck with the 4 kids and the seamless integration to your new position. Okay, next week, don't forget to join us. We will have Ring the Bell. Hey, my slides are not advancing, IT. Can you please move this slide one? You'll want to join us for sure because we're featuring Dr. Gloria Duffy, who's the CEO of the Commonwealth Club of California, as well as the CEO of the Diridon Duffy household, and she'll be talking about the report on the U.S. Threat Assessment Commission. Couple of final thoughts. Here's a fun fact for those of you who may not be aware. Rotary International is 46,000 clubs strong with 1.4 million members in over 220 countries. Now, you know I love my data, but I have a point in mentioning this. This is a gentle reminder that President-elect Heather Lerner will be leading the meeting next week on December 6th, as I will be flying to Dubai for the United Nations Climate Change Conference to represent both Rotary International and the transportation sector. Yay! I always do this for Leslie. I just want to assure you all, they're paying my way. It's not coming from our budget. And I will miss you very much, but this is a Rotary International obligation I felt was critically important, not only to our club, but the success of our future climate activities. So, and the best part, some of you know, is my 81-year-old dad, who's president of his South Ukiah Rotary Club, is going with me. Why? He doesn't have a role, but he looked at me and he said, meanwhile, I've been to 6 continents, 43 countries, and I'm 50 years old. I'm not letting my little girl go to the Middle East alone. So damn it, he's going with me and we're gonna have a great time. So I will miss you, and in my final thoughts, the 4 B's of interpersonal engagement and social connection and success. Be real, be whole, be open, and be curious. I'll see you in 2 weeks for our fun festive holiday lunch. And Gracie and Angel, we were so happy to have you and all of the other guests here today. We hope to see you soon. Bye, friends.